Yeah, bitch.
Yeah. What you know about me, bro? Going hard in the game, gonna make a name. Leaving my mark, I'ma leave my stain. Better back up, cause I bring the pain. What you know about me, bro? Got Supreme hat, Supreme
Yo, cool.
Fuck yeah, so fresh, we're high class, bro. What you know about me, bro?
All right. Well, I said we just started from right here. We got 60 East. How's it going, man?
Was good.
Dude,
Chilling.
we talked for probably like a solid hour already.
Yeah, it's been like an hour.
We learned so much from you, and let's start with the idea of Thoughtfest, and that stands for the happiness of pursuit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the whole like idea behind that? Is it because you want to do your own shows? Were you always motivated to have your own events?
So the idea kind of started from doing like little shows here and there. I would throw like these little shows at the same venue, and like even before then, we were throwing like little shows like in Sacramento and stuff. I used to be on
Sacramento.
I used to be on a label from Sacramento, so we started throwing shows up there with like headliners, like we had like Dead Prez, Locksmith.
As a rapper, you were in that label?
Yeah, as an artist.
At what age were you on that label?
2021 is when I started.
Damn.
And then so I had a cousin. I mean that's a whole story in itself. But we can get into that.
Yeah.
But the festival. So as a label, we were throwing these little shows up in Sacramento, and we got like the biggest show we did was like with the Mortal Technique and Chino XL at one of the big theaters out there, and it was like super big show, super successful for us. But that kind of planted the seed of like us always throwing our own shows, making our own money, and that was like maybe one of the early seeds. Prior to even that, let's go back to high school. Like me and my brother used to throw like house parties at our crib, and we used to like book artists to perform and DJs and shit like that.
Out here in Ontario?
Yeah, like right down the street from where we're at right now. And so that seed was planted early, and then we started throwing shows as first Dirt or whatever. And then as I started getting into like my solo act or whatever, I had a friend that actually bought the venue where we're at right now, and then I started throwing events here, like little shows or whatever, and then we started doing good, and then he eventually was like, yo, what if we could do something in the parking lot? Like, let's give it a try. So then that's how the idea of throwing a festival was born, and then that's the idea of the festival, but then the whole brand of the Happiness of Pursuit just kind of came from somewhere else.
Oh yeah.
So you threw another festival before, but it was called something else or what?
No, this was the first event, but he was kind of the one that was just like, yo, what could we do in the back? Like, I see you throwing these events in here. Like, what could we do with some more space? And I was like, let's give it a try. And that's how the Thoughtfest started.
Oh, for sure. Hell yeah.
That's crazy. So you grew up in Ontario? I've been trying to figure that out. So you're from Ontario.
I'm from here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, see, I thought you were from like LA.
No.
Okay.
I like my grandma like still lives, well, she passed away, but like her crib is still like 2 blocks down the street from here. Mm-hmm. My mom's crib is like a few blocks down the street this way, and like I kind of just grew up all around Ontario. But I'm from right here.
That's sick.
Fuck
dude.
yeah.
And you were motivated at a young age to start rapping at like right away? Like what encouraged you to rap?
So like I had kind of got into hip hop as a b-boy. One of my older cousins came to the crib one day and started breakdancing. He was actually trying to show my older brother how to breakdance. And then my older brother's not really coordinated. He was kind of like he was not really like the athlete of the group. It was kind of, I was more the athlete, and I was like, yo, I could do that. And I was already like the crazy kid that would do flips off roofs and shit like that. You know what I mean? So I was kind of.
Can you still breakdance?
I'll break my arm if I were to try to break dance these days. Yeah, I mean, I try. Like I try to show my daughter, and like I'll mess around.
Yeah, like
but,
pop locking and shit.
Yeah, I'm just not I'm not that size no more. You know what I mean? Like when I was little, I could throw myself around crazy, and I always had a big head, so I was good at doing like head spins and shit.
Oh shit!
But
is there any videos of this?
Nah, this was pre-cameras and shit.
Dude.
I know I have like a couple pictures of me like dressed in like Adidas tracksuits and shit. I was like that kid. Like I would go to Christmas in like an Adidas tracksuit, and like with a beanie and shit. Like, and then we'd go outside and break dance. You know what I mean?
Cardboard and shit.
Yeah, we literally would roll with cardboard and just bust it out. And anyway, that's how I met hip hop, was as a b-boy, and then that kind of evolved into us just like breakdancing. And then eventually, my brother ended up becoming a DJ because he couldn't dance, so he kind of felt left out. And then I remember one day we were watching the movie Beat Street, and then he sees somebody scratching a record, and then he pauses the movie and he runs to the garage. He throws boxes everywhere, and he was like, Mom has a fucking record player in here somewhere, and he finds it, plugs it in, throws a record on, and just starts scratching it, like not knowing what he's doing. But that we were kids, like literally, it sparked to this day. 20 years later, he's a professional DJ, all because of that moment. Damn. But I was remember like we were watching that movie, and I'm breakdancing, and he's picked that up, and then he became a DJ. But anyway, as he became a DJ, he ended up starting to produce records also. So then naturally he needed people to rap over the records, and my older cousin that taught us how to breakdance, we were already like hip hop heads, so he was like already started rapping or whatever, and then I was always there too, the youngest sibling or whatever. So I just kind of picked it up super early, like third, fourth grade. I was already rapping because these dudes, my brother was already in junior high and my cousin was already in high school, so they were already ahead, and I was just kind of trying to keep along or whatever. So then I started rapping like around fourth grade.
Would they like loop the track and like have it like playing as a beat and have it?
Yeah. So my brother,
because that's like the traditional way, right?
He started producing, making beats, looping beats, and then we had like a microphone like this, and then my mom had like an old lamp, and he like took the light bulb off, and then we taped it to the lamp, and like we had like a little studio.
Sick, bro.
I mean, it's funny like back then it kind of seemed like something serious, but looking back. And I'm like looking at kids that age now, and I'm like, damn, if I had like kids doing that, I'd be like super impressed. I'm like, dude, you guys are like showing so much drive and ambition, trying to chase your dreams. And I think that's kind of why me and my brother were able to do music professionally, because like our mom, she was always like, I'd rather you guys be here making that racket in the garage and knowing where you guys are at instead of being in the streets like fucking around or whatever. So we was always kind of lucky that our mom was kind of supportive in that way.
That's dope. Yeah, that helped out a lot. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, it motivated you guys to stay at home and just kind of focus on your craft.
Yeah.
So who was like there had to have been like some early rappers that caught your eye and like made you kind of develop your style.
Yeah. So I mean, aside from like the greats, like the dudes I was listening to at the time were like the Cannabis and Pharoah Monch and the fucking Rakim, Eminem, that whole. I always liked lyricism. That was always like something that stood out to me.
I can tell for your raps too.
A lot of underground.
Yeah, I grew up on like the super lyrical shit. Like I always liked cats that could rap like really good. And then aside from that, like when my brother kept producing, he eventually started like a little indie label like in high school or whatever, and he started recruiting local rappers, and then one of those rappers happened to live like down the street, and he was dope. He was like his name was Space Ghost. That's why I have the Space Ghost tattoo.
Dude,
he was
can you show the camera that? I seen that right away. Oh my bad, I dropped your phone right there.
It's all good.
Damn, that shit's hard, bro. I seen it right away, and it brought back like
childhood.
Yeah,
shit.
bro, because that shit was fucking dope. Growing up, seeing that.
Adult Swim.
Yeah. So yeah, our friend's name was Space Ghost, and he was an artist on my brother's label. He was like the main artist, and he was always like my biggest inspiration. You know what I mean? And then eventually, he actually ended up passing away.
Oh, damn.
But like he still to this day, like I still have his CDs in rotation, and I'm still studying his style, and like I would definitely say he was one of my earliest.
And he was just a local guy.
He just grew up down the street from us, and like but like as we started having this little label in high school, and this is like pre-internet, so like being able to build momentum at that time was crazy because you couldn't see it, you couldn't see the numbers online, but you could just see it in the streets, like he's about to pop. And like we really had a lot of momentum, and dude was about to get signed to a record deal and all that, but then got caught up in some bullshit, and then he ended up passing away, and like everybody kind of split up. But as far as influences go, like he's definitely one of my biggest.
Was he older or younger?
Yeah, he was so he was older than my brother also. So he was I don't know, maybe like 7 years older than me or something like that. But yeah, like I said, I was always just a part of the crew. Like I was just the dude's little brother that was always around. You know what I mean?
Well, especially since you can spit too at a young age.
Yeah, and they always got a kick out of it too, because even just the being a break dancer, and they're like, oh yeah, the little homie knows how to break. And then when I started rapping, they're like, oh look, give him the mic, he can rap. And then it was kind of like a show, you know what I mean? And like we'd be at parties and like high school parties and like older cats there, and they'd be like, nah, give him the mic. And I was like in 6th, 7th grade, had no reason even being there and shit. Yeah, it was cool.
So what's can you give us like a early like flow that you had? Like I'm picturing like
Oh,
a
man.
young little kid like rapping in front of big ass adults, you know?
I remember the first rhyme that I wrote. I was like in 3rd grade. I remember I was waiting for my homie to pick me up. We were gonna go like Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. And then I had just picked up the notepad and started writing, and it was said I was like, as I sit and I wait for my motherfucking date, I might as well just tell that I'll burn in hell if this record don't sell. So reserve your copy and listen to this shit, because after you listen to this hit, you'll be taking a trip to see our house on Cribs.
Bro, that was pretty fire for a kid, bro.
Yeah. I to this day I think so.
MTV Cribs.
Yeah, I mean that's that era. You know what I mean?
So
I'm
like early 2000s and shit.
Oh yeah. This
2006.
is early 2000s. I have notebooks, man. Like to this, I've somehow been able to save my notebooks, but I have notebooks dated back to like 97, and I'm like at 97, I'm like 8 years old. But I have
Damn, hell
notebooks of my handwriting, literally like 20, 30 notebooks just full of lyrics from 97 to fucking 2015 or whatever. Whenever I started writing in my phone.
Yeah, that's fucking insane, bro.
Yeah.
So, did you? I mean, obviously your brother had his own like thing going.
Yeah.
But like, did that inspire you to create like your own like? Because I mean, going back to now, you have Thoughtfest. You got your own stuff going on. You've been on tour. Has your brother joined you on that too? Like,
Nah, so it was weird. Like around
like when I guess the question I wanted to say is when did you guys branch off? Like, I feel like there's
Yeah,
a point where you guys like, hey, I'm gonna do my own thing, big bro. Like, good looking out on all that, you know.
Yeah, it was kind of like circumstance because, like I said, in 2006, we were all like we were part of a label called Takeover ENT. That was like our team, our label was me, my brother, Space, all our homies, my cousin that taught us how to break dance. Like we had a full crew, and that extended to street kids, just like everything. It was to compare it to people that can understand these days. It was like we were like Odd Future. Like in 2005, 2006, we were like the IE Odd Future, and we just had like a whole movement of like ill shit going on. And my bad. What was like, when we branched off. So anyway, we had all this momentum, and then dude had a record deal, and we were about to get signed and all this shit. And then dude ended up passing away, and then that's when everybody split up. My brother, that was the moment. Everybody split up, and then my brother was like, you know what? I'm done with this rap shit. I'm gonna just focus on myself and being a DJ. And then he ended up moving to Hollywood and just taking off as a DJ. And like he was been DJing Hollywood clubs, like celebrity parties, all that shit for the longest time. And he kind of just put hip hop to the side, and then he got into the whole EDM, EDC scene, because all that shit started blowing up like in the midst of all that. And then me and the rest of the cats, we were all doing our own thing, but we kept it to the hip hop, underground hip hop shit, what we know best, you know what I mean? And from 2006 to about 2010, I was just like, I was still in high school, so I was trying to figure it out, and then getting kicked out of high school, figuring out like, am I gonna go to college? Am I gonna find
10 years of college?
Am I gonna find a job? Like, what am I gonna do? And then I ended up reconnecting with one of the members of the groups of our group, and then he was like, "Yo, I'm producing. Are you still rapping? Like, I hope you're still rapping." And he's like, "I'm doing these shows." He's like, "If you're down, I'm gonna send you some beats. I want to produce for you, and you can come do these shows with me." And that was late 2009, and that's when everything kind of started changing.
And that was a dope era. 2009 for music.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
that 2009.
I feel like so much dope artists came out in that. Dude, Lil Wayne was fucking going off.
He was popping at that time. That was like the blog era, and that's when you saw the rise of all the cats that are popping right now, like the
mumble rappers.
No, I mean that was a little after, but like that time you had like the Mac Miller, the Cudi, Kid Cudi, Wiz, J. Cole, Currency. It was all like the
Kendrick,
mixtape,
all
yeah,
TDE,
the whole
that
mixtape era coming out of the blog era, and it was a great time. But I just feel like I didn't really get to capitalize on it just because I was a little underdeveloped at the time. Like them dudes were they were already albums and mixtapes in, like doing their thing, and I was barely like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. Fuck it, I'm gonna start putting out mixtapes and shit like that.
Okay, so you're saying like you did a lot of music when you were young, right? You wrote. You said like you opened the book at 97. You seen all that, but
yeah, not really though.
You never like made a song like.
I would write I would write verses and I would write songs over other people's beats. And and then like whatever beats I could steal from my brother, I would like remix them or whatever. But like I didn't have my own beats to make songs out of. But like I was definitely making like mixtapes and shit like here and there, like skeletons of projects. But I never sat down and was like, all right, I'm gonna make this conceptual album and make these songs about this shit. Like it was just wasn't like I didn't think of it like that. I was just so like trying to chase girls and shit like that. You
and
know
on
what I mean?
that, but there's no like there's no book. There's no book on like, hey, this week. Like now we have YouTube. If you look up how to be a rap artist, you can get a
there's
whole
tutorials,
layout.
master classes and all that.
Exactly, how to make your own beats, everything, how to master your own music.
I guess I didn't take it serious because like up until 2006, I was like, oh, we're gonna get signed. I don't even have to finish high school. We're gonna be touring the world. Like that's literally where my head was. But then when all that ended, I was just kind of like, oh, this shit's all over. Like I'm just gonna go work construction and do that for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? But then when I had made a decision like around like 2009 when I said my homie started getting me back into doing shows and hype manning for him and shit, and I started falling back in love with it. And that's when I was like, man, I want to do this full time. But there was still something holding me back. There was still that, oh, I don't think it'll happen. I'm gonna go work a regular secure job and all that shit. And then
it's scary, bro. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and then the changing moment was my pops around that same time ended up getting diagnosed with cancer, and then in July of 2010 he ended up passing away. And that like right after he passed away, that Monday, like after the funeral, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna do this music shit. Like that was like, and that I could definitely attribute like my energy and the whole motivation being straight to my pops passing away, because I was like, you know what, that's the kick in the ass that I needed. That I was like, yo, nothing's promised, blah blah blah, whatever. I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. Fuck what everybody thinks. And then it's been on since then, man.
And do you feel like was he always like supportive with your music when you were doing it as a kid?
Nah, not really. It was weird. My pop's kind of old school. He didn't really fuck with hip hop like that. He was supportive of me like when I played football and shit. But then I fell out of football, started getting in like the street shit. So we had like a rocky road during that whole time. But like I would hear him, like he would hear me recording in the room like by myself. He never talked to me about it, but like I would hear him talking to his homies, like, oh yeah, I hear him rapping in his room. Like he's pretty dope. Shit like that. But like I never got to rap for him. He never got to see me perform or nothing like that.
But still, you knew he fucked with it. Like he never said it, but there's that, like, you knew he like, that's how my dad was when they like, I never rapped in front of him, but like he'll always tell people I rapped, and I was like, how the fuck does he know I rap? But then I thought about it. I mean, the fucking walls are so thin. He probably just hear me rehearsing a fucking verse or something.
For sure.
Because people, I think my aunts were like, oh, is he good? And he'll kind of look at them like I kind of hear it, but like he I can tell he wasn't sure if I was that good, but he would be like, yeah, he's good. He's
but trying something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. So
I really in the same way. Like I never really got support from my parents either and shit, because they're old school, same thing and shit. But they seen me doing it, and eventually they're just like down with it. We're like, he's fucking doing it, you know. And like you, like it wasn't until like later on in life that I was like, dude, go in all in on this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because fucking working a job and then like focusing on a fucking girlfriend and shit like that, like it's distracting, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's distracting getting into like comforts.
Life gets fucking stressful, dude. Especially when you start looking at like other people making money, and you're like, fuck, is it worth chasing this fucking dream?
You're same age. People are like buying houses and starting families and all that, and you're over here fucking rapping in front of 10 people and shit. Like,
yeah. But then sometimes you rap in front of a lot of people. And that like feeling is like unmatched.
And
you know.
You know what else is crazy too? Like I guarantee, like when they see you, they love that, because they wish they could have done something like that. You know, like my homies always support me and say like, yo, it's dope that you're still doing the fucking podcast. Like, you're still trying to chase something. When we're right here at a warehouse or doing, you know, construction or something. Like they always, and I never look at it that way, because I always look at them like, yo, you guys are doing good. Yeah. But then they're like, nah, you're dope, because you're still fucking doing it. You're
doing what you want to do.
Yeah, you're doing what you love, and we always known you for that.
Yeah. Growing up, I have uncles who were musicians, and I've always noticed this when they were young. When I was young, is that they were older. They already had like a fucking big ass family and like a job, but they would still say like, oh, one day I'm gonna make that badass album. I'm gonna make it big.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
fool,
yeah.
you ain't gonna do nothing no more, dude. Like, you're done, bro.
40 years old.
Right?
Yeah.
So-
That's crazy.
So you went on a cool run making mixtapes, or
Prior.
when did you drop your first like EP, mixtape, or album?
So 2010, like when I started doing the music serious, I guess like right before then, one of the other dudes from the label that we were on, he actually produced the whole album for me, and this was like just maybe like 19, 20. But yeah, that was kind of my first time sitting down and making a full project, and I was like, oh, okay, I could do this. And then 2010 is when I started working with the label First Dirt. Then I put out like a 5-track EP with them, and then after that I started putting out a couple mixtapes, and then I didn't drop my first official project as 60 East until 2014. But in between that time, like I was a battle rapper, like we said. That's how I met Jeffy. Like 2010, when I said I'm gonna start doing this shit, I was like, all right, I'm signing up for this battle league. I'm gonna do every open mic. I'm gonna do every spoken word thing. I'm just gonna do everything. And that's when like I just kind of like started throwing shit everywhere and seeing where it stuck. And then I was like, okay, I figured out I want to tour. I want to do the performance thing. Battling's cool, but I don't really see myself having a future there. So I was like, I'm just going to focus on this. And then I was going by a different name at the time, and I was like, this name is not marketable to the mainstream.
What was the
and
name?
Like Amits, AMITS, which
Amits?
stood for a man inside the system. It was an acronym. And it was just like, it's too much. You know what I mean? I need something simpler, something straight to the point.
Yeah.
And then right before I went on my first tour in 2012, when I was like, yo, 60 East is the name. And like I had to tell my dude to like change my name on all the flyers. It was like super last minute.
But how did you even think of 60s? That's just like it just popped up.
It's crazy. I've kind of always had that name in the back burner. Like I've always kind of been, even like when I was younger, we got into like super into like graffiti, and it was like we were notorious for always being on the freeways. The freeway was like our shit. Like we kind of branded ourselves as the guys that like lived on the freeway. And then I always liked that idea. And then 60 East was always like, I always lived right off the 60 East. So it was just like, I want somewhere to represent home. I want somewhere to represent who I am. I was like, yo, 60 East. And then like the whole like coming from a history of like drug trafficking and drug hustling and all that. And it's like people be hustling on the freeways. And so it's just like a triple entendre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the name came from.
Because fucking, that's catchy as fuck. Because I feel like not only does it resemble you, but it resembles all that. Like,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah, everything, you know. And like I come from like my family's from like Azusa area, which is not off the 60, but Azusa Avenue's off the 60, but it's still like coming from there. And then, you know what I mean? It just kind of like I wanted to represent all that, because I'm not just the IE cat, you know what I mean? Like I grew up back and forth or doing whatever out there, you know. And then even eventually moving to Riverside, which is still 60 East. And like I always just felt I wanted to represent all of that shit, you know.
Oh yeah, dude. So going back to the albums, you dropped like a good amount and then started making a name like that and then performing.
Yeah, so I had dropped some
After you
mixtapes.
made the 60 East and all that.
Yeah, so I dropped like 2 mixtapes under 60 East. One was like a cover to the Games documentary album, and the other was like a cover to a Joe Budden mixtape series. But then I was like, okay, I want to start back to the mixtape era. And growing up at that time, I always thought it was dope how like Lil Wayne had the Dedication series, and then Joe Budden had the Mood Music series, and Currency had this series, and everybody had their own series. So I was like, I need my own series. Like I want to do that. And then that's where I came up with the idea of the Freeway series, which was a spinoff. Like when the Angels play the Dodgers, they call it the Freeway series. But the 60 East being a freeway, so I was like, oh, the Freeway series. Like I just love
I like that. That's it.
Yeah, I like that. So then 2014 is when I released my first Freeway series, and then now I think I'm on part 5.
Sick, bro.
Yeah, I think I released part 4. No, I released part 4 this past December. So that's been a consistent thing throughout my career. And then in between that time, I've dropped EPs with different cats, singles, an album, and all that.
And do you remember Dat Piff?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Bro, that whenever I think about mixtapes, I think about Dat Piff.
I still have Dat Piff on my phone, man.
Yeah. Dat Piff was pretty much like how he said those mixtapes, they'll release on that.
Yeah.
And you see so many, there'll be also beats. So there'll be like beat tapes, and you can download all those. And we would download them and just freestyle over them and like make songs.
Yeah.
You remember
Dat
that
Piff was
shit?
lit, hell
dude.
yeah.
That's sick. Yeah, dude, that's crazy, bro. So you made a good catalog, and then from there, when did you start doing? So like, you said 2017, right? Was Thoughtfest?
Yeah, that was our first Thoughtfest.
So what came about that? Like, what was the whole like? Did you really meet a bunch of people and you're like, you know what, I can do this shit? Because you said you went to a couple shows, and you got the idea.
So before 2017, like between all that shit,
I feel like there's a lot right there.
Yeah, like I started touring, and then I started getting into the festival circuit and getting booked for these festivals and getting booked.
Not to cut you off, but it's so ironic that the first thing you said you want to get is like performing, and look at you now, you got your own fucking festival.
Yeah, shit is nuts.
Yeah, like I just thought about that right now.
It's been a journey.
That was one of the things you said. You're like, I don't want to be like a battle rapper. I want to be out performing.
Yeah.
And now you have your own fucking festival, dude.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Congrats.
Thanks, man.
But let's get back to it. My bad.
Oh yeah, so I mean, I just started getting booked as a festival act, like on these different festivals in Europe and shit, and like out here. And then I started seeing, like, taking notes. I was like, oh, I always like this and like that and like this.
Wait,
and then,
so how'd you get to Europe? What was that?
I mean, just being an artist. Well, so like in the time of 2010 to about 2015, like I'm on the label First Dirt, and we were as a individual artist on the label, but then people started seeing us perform together so much they kind of started saying we're a group, and then we kind of started gaining momentum as a group, so we just started branding ourselves as a group. So then we became this group, and then we just started touring like crazy and just getting booked on these different festivals, and then eventually, like, one of our biggest goals was to get to Europe. So we booked the independent tour to Europe, and then that opened that door. But after 2015, First Dirt kind of split up, and then it was like, all right, now it's time to focus on myself. Because up until 2015, 16, like, I was more focused on the group and the the expansion of the group, and then I kind of put my solo career to the side. But after that, I was like, all right, it's on. Now it's 60 East time. And then right as 2016 started, I just started getting all these crazy opportunities, and then yeah, I got booked on one of the biggest hip-hop festivals in Europe called Hip-Hop Camp. And then that just opened the doors out there, and I started touring out there regularly and touring as a solo act. And then
what was that like? I know we're like jumping off a bunch of topics.
It's all good. Let's go.
But what was that like in Europe?
Europe is so cool, man. Like it's different.
Like, do they trip out on you in general? Like, because, like, I mean, obviously you're tatted, you're from California. Like,
yeah. Do
they see you like, dude, you're like the lottery. Like, we want that. We want to be in California and just living the dream.
Yeah, there's some of that. A lot of it is like
I don't
touring.
know if they look at it like that now. Yeah,
like, a lot of it is like touring in the States. It's weird, you know. Some shows are hit and miss. Other shows are here and there. But like, Europe is still very into the traditional hip hop sound, and like we were saying, that's kind of like my lane or whatever. So they kind of embrace that shit out there. He's gonna
go use the restroom.
Yeah, and they kind of like that shit out there. So I've kind of I don't know, I can't even explain it, but it's definitely fun. It's just a different experience getting to travel all these different countries, rap for people that can barely speak English, but they know what you're saying and shit. Like,
yeah, because they see it. I feel like, especially in different countries. Like, over here, we're kind of like, I don't even know. Some people say that some of the stuff that we do, like 3 years or 4 years later, the other countries get it.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
I feel like with seeing your stuff, they see it as an art. Like, it's not just music. It's like an art piece. Like, just like how we see art right here. Like, we look at that like, dude, I can never, like, I don't know what they were thinking when they made it. Like, that's how they see your music. So that's dope.
There's definitely that, and the whole like hip hop started in the United States. So when they have someone from the motherland out there representing, they're like definitely paying attention.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
they're doing their homework. They're trying to network.
Yeah.
What was like the best experience in Europe? Like,
the Hip Hop Camp Festival for sure, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's like one of the biggest.
Did they also show you around, or like?
Here and there. I mean, we get to travel like on off days or whatever, but like the hip hop camp, so it's like in Czech Republic. So then we have to fly into Prague, and then you get to see Prague, but then it's like a couple, like, I don't know, like an hour outside of Prague, so you're like in the middle of fucking nothing. But like the grounds where the festival is held at a old World War II bunker. So like the energy is crazy, and you're performing in these bunkers. They used to house these fucking planes. They used to go drop bombs and shit, and super crazy.
Did you feel anything? Like,
yeah, the energy there is super crazy, and like just getting to be there was like a handful of American artists on the bill, and then there was maybe like 3 West Coast artists, and it was like me, Planet Asia, and Afro.
Oh, Planet Asia is like, were they the headliners?
Yeah, they were some of the headliners, and then Afro was a headliner too, and he's also a friend of mine. And like, so it was just cool to be one of the very few fucking West Coast hip hop acts out there, but also like the only Mexican cat out there. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And that was like special in itself. And then I remember the last day, fucking who was performing? Onyx was like closing out the show or whatever. And then all the American artists were like backstage kicking it, like, oh yeah, this is our shit. And then like when they performed, all of us jumped on stage and we were just rocking out, watching Onyx perform. And I just remember it was like Redman, Afro, EPMD, me, Planet Asia, and fucking just like these legends. Like all, I'm just sitting here like, how am I a part of the Smith and Wesson was right there. I was just like, yo, I'm on this stage with fucking all these dudes that I grew up listening to, getting treated as an equal because I'm on the same bill as them. I'm representing the United States and Europe as a motherfucking representative of the culture, and I'm just like, fucking Mexican cat. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this shit
fucking
don't.
Ontario.
Yeah, shit didn't feel right, but I was just like, yo, this is like you said. What's the most special moment? That right there was the most special moment.
Dude, that's fucking dope, bro. I feel like you have, dude. Like, we haven't even touched like the base of everything. I feel like you have so many stories.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're kind of running through everything.
I know, yeah. But have you ever thought about like writing a fucking script or a movie, like, or a book?
All of it. I've actually just started writing my first book, and I'm like at almost at the final edit.
Oh,
but yeah,
shit.
my very first book. I'm super excited.
So, wait, what? When's this dropping? Damn.
I don't have no announcements for it yet. I haven't even told anybody what it's about.
Oh.
But yeah, I just like started writing. And like you said, I just had so many stories, and then I just recently hit during the pandemic. 2020 was like my 10 years as an artist, so I was like, man, I want to do something to kind of cap off my first 10 years. You know what I mean? And then
okay, so you consider like 2010s like the
that's the year I started.
Okay.
July 2010, like the weekend after my pops died. That's when I was like all in. It was like literally every day I'm gonna do music.
Okay.
Prior to that, it was kind of just like here and there. I was definitely in the scene, but not focused. But like 2010 is when I consider like my career started.
Yeah. And so that made you, like you said, like after the 10 years, you kind of started looking at stories, writing them down.
Oh yeah. So I just kind of wanted, like, we had time during 2020, so I was just kind of like, what should I do? Like I get bored, so I was like, you know, I'm bored of making music. I'm gonna start a festival. Or I got bored of touring. I'm gonna start a festival type shit. And then
I can tell.
Like,
I mean, you got your hands on so many things. I feel like you just need to be productive all the time.
Yeah, I got to, man.
Yeah.
And then 2020, I was just like, I want to start writing a book. I have movie concepts and ideas and somewhat written out skeletons of scripts, just because, like we were saying before, like I'm a super movie head. So scripts is definitely something I want to get into. And also over the pandemic, like I really got into reading, like not probably before like 2017, 18, I started picking up books like crazy. And I was like, yo, I could do this. Like, yeah, like reading like different book every month. And that motivated me to start writing. And then I kind of like started with a template, and I was like, oh, okay, this was what I want to write about. And then it just wrote itself. And now I'm like, oh shit, I'm almost done with my first book. Shit is crazy.
It's more like autobiography or what?
Yeah, I don't really want to announce what it's about just yet, but yeah, it's basically me talking about like the highlights of the past 10 years of my music career.
Sick, dude.
And like taking people from the beginning to where I'm at right
definitely
now.
let us know. I definitely want to buy that.
Yeah, well, definitely.
That encourages, because that's something I also want to do with my shit, but like I didn't even get to tour like you, and I feel like I have like enough to write a book. I feel like yours is gonna be a series. It's not gonna be just that.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I wrote it, it's definitely meant to have a part 2 for the next 10 years. Hopefully, you know, make it to 10 years and fucking the world doesn't end or whatever. You know what I mean? But
World War 3.
Whatever. If I make it another 10 years doing music or whatever, then there'll be a part 2 to that specific book.
Yeah, that's dope. So yeah, fucking going back to leading up. Well, I still want to know, like, what was, like, the culture like in Europe and, like, food and everything? Like, did they pretty much, because you're not from there, did they treat you a certain way? Were, like, respectfully, or was it kind of like, this fucking American?
Depends where you're at. France is kind of like that. I kind of
really?
try to like. I don't really say I'm American. Like I'll say I'm American, but like if depends who I'm talking to. Like I'm Mexican, bro. I'm from Mexico. Like
Yeah.
they tend to
And
be.
do you talk fluently in Spanish?
Yeah. So when I'm in
Okay.
Spain, I can talk Spanish. They're like, oh, bro, you're cool. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like you blend in over here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
food. I like trying different food wherever we're at. But like as far as culture goes. I've noticed even out here there's people like this, but out there they were more so like this, that they treat hip hop kind of like a religion. And it's kind of like, I heard Merge say this before in an interview too. He's like, yo, I don't consider myself like American or a part of this, a part of that. He's like, I'm a son of hip hop. I'm part of the hip hop culture. Like I have brothers and sisters that represent this culture everywhere I go. And it's like I'd never seen that till I was in Europe, when it was just people would just pick me up from the airport and be like, oh yeah, no, it's hip hop, you know. Oh, you can
Yeah.
stay at our house, we'll make you food, hip hop shit. And I was like, oh, hip
Damn,
hop.
so
Yeah, this is
yeah.
like really like a whole culture, bro. Like fucking like any other kind of culture, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's super dope.
I've been trying to think, like, I want to get in your head, like, what were you thinking? Like, you're in a different country, doing what you love. Like, what were you going through?
It is exciting. It's a lot of mix of emotions, because I mean the whole, even getting to travel, getting to go abroad, getting to see different things, that's just like getting to intake so much history and all that at once. And it's like, all right, that the music aspect of it, the show aspect of it and all that, it's just all a big mixture. But it's fun, dude. Like, but there's times when they're out there and it's like, oh, I miss home, like I miss my kid, or I want to fucking do this or do that, you know what I mean? And then that kind of gets back into like where the festival started too, because like I had a kid in 2015 and I was like, kind of want to stay home more, and like but I don't want to let up on the work, so let me create something that keeps me home more and still allows me to build my name and build whatever I'm trying to do.
So that led up to kind of...
That was part of it. Yeah, that was part of it.
And also you going through certain experiences. So Thoughtfest started in 2017.
Yeah.
And then what was that like, working on your very first festival? Even announcing it, dude. That's probably big.
There was just so much. I always consider the first year like the fucking disaster year, which people always say if you can make it through the disaster year, you can make it to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
But like the first year, man, so much shit happened. But like just the learning process, and literally I had no team. It was literally me doing and I thought I could do everything. I was like, oh, I could stage manage. Oh, I could run artists. Oh, I could do this. I could do that. And I learned real quick it was not gonna happen.
So
like our first year, we sold 30 tickets, and I was like, man, this is gonna be a fucking disaster. That happened. We only sold 30 tickets. They re-announced the comeback of the Pay Dues Festival. I don't know if you guys know what the Pay Dues Festival is.
But Rock the Bells and all that.
Yeah, so it's a big hip hop festival. Basically, my festival is a spin-off of Pay Dues, because Pay Dues hasn't been around for like 5+ years at the time. But then they announced they're bringing it back, and it's the same fucking day as my show.
Oh,
So
damn.
I'm like, when that happened, I was
my
like,
God.
I started scrambling. I was like, yo, we gotta cancel. And then everybody was like, bro, we can't cancel. There's too many people booked, so I couldn't do it. And then on another note, like I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be. We get raided, and my laptop gets confiscated by the cops.
Oh my God.
So my laptop that has all the contracts, all the information, everything that I need for the festival gets confiscated for a couple months. So I had to like start from scratch off a brand new laptop, go through the legal process of getting my laptop back, see what's gonna happen with Pay Dues. And I literally see everybody that was like, oh yeah, we're going to your show. Ah, bro, you know, that show's came back. We gotta go there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, I'm just gonna see what happens. Let's see it through. And then eventually, the week of the show, they end up canceling Pay Dues for some. Yeah, they ended up canceling for some fucking for whatever reason they had to end up canceling.
Who
but it was
was
like
headlining Pay Dues?
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Damn.
That's
And
why.
then
bro.
it was weird. And then so then we
Destiny,
were like,
bro.
yeah, and then the show ended up going on, and then we ended up having a good amount of people buy tickets at the door. We didn't make money, but we didn't lose money. So like the venue was just like, yo, like we broke even, and we got to promotions. You got to perform in front of these people. My first festival, we had Elzai from Slum Village. He has a classic album he did over Nas's Illmatic, so we had him headlining, performing that. We had Pigeon John from LA Symphony, Young Drummer Boy who's from Pomona, Vel the Wonder, Self Provoked, and bunch of other local cats. But yeah, that was our first year, and like the word around town was like, yo, this is like a thing. They're like, yo, this wasn't just some bullshit. This was like an actual fucking outdoor festival. Yeah. And then I kind of had the team after that kind of formed itself. Like I had a handful of people. They were like, yo, we see what you're trying to do. We see you need help. They're like, yo, we're willing to help. And then that's kind of led into year 2, and then having more help for year 2 and being able to add more elements to the show. And then from there, it just kept growing.
Dude, that's fucking dope. And now this is the 5th year.
This
fifth year anniversary.
Yeah, 5 years.
That's fucking crazy. And do you feel like it's still kind of like, I mean, obviously you have a bunch of help, but like looking back now, you learned a lot. You got a bunch of people doing certain things. Is it a lot easier to just do it, or are you still stressed out around this time?
Yeah, no, now that everything's like in place as far as like communication tactics, all the emails that we have to send, like that's the hard part of building the festival, is all the technical shit. But once all that shit's in place, now it's kind of just like, oh, all right, we know what to do. Just be consistent with it, and just like now one of the biggest troubleshoots is like staying on top of technology, because technology is changing every day.
What do you mean?
TikTok, Instagram, utilizing
on there.
being like learning
social media.
I mean, yeah, and then there's just every day there's a new website or a new app that you could sell tickets on, or you could promote shows on, or whatever, and just trying to touch all those things and stay on top of it all, and create content around it. Like now we were just saying now it's just content, because it's just like the event is one day, but then it's like you need as much content in that one day to post for the next fucking year until the next show. You know what I mean? So it's just
to hype
like
it up and all that.
Everything from like interviews to pictures to performance clips to press interviews, like it all comes into play.
Do you have someone there for like press interviews?
We do. We have like a press section.
Because I was gonna say, because I know I think I hit. Well, technically I hit you up, because I was like, I hit up the Thoughtfest thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a vendor, but I was like, man, it would be better just to do interviews. But like, I don't know if that's already filled up already.
That's not really my department, but yeah, it's something we do.
Yeah,
we do have press. We had a press tent. We're constantly changing the layout, so like press has kind of been iffy, like the way that it's worked out. Because we have a red carpet, and like we usually have press there.
Shit.
And they do the interviews on the red carpet, so it looks cool. And then like
that's
for like the
dope,
for like
bro.
the
What
big
the fuck?
like the big podcasts, like the no jumpers and shit like that, they'll usually have like we'll have like 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, they'll come up
backstage. Depends who it is. Every year it's different, every year there's people that are interested in different people, so it's like this year will be fucking LA Weekly, next year will be fucking T.H.O.P DX or some shit,
Is there any way where we can like be on foot? We don't have to be stationed and bring our equipment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the red carpet shit, that's way easier to do as far as like
because we've always wanted to do something similar to that, where it's just like, but I like this. I like sitting down and like getting to know
it's way better.
Instead of like, oh, what do you think about?
Three quick questions real quick,
and then it's just
loud
like,
as shit.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like this is more intimate. Like just getting to know you in general. Like I feel like I just watched a whole movie. Like like learning about you, and that's why I think it's crazy, because you've been. I feel like it helps you a lot because you're not selfish. Like exactly what you said about every group you've been in. You've always said like, oh, I was all in, and then it fell apart. Yeah. So I feel like you're always helping people. Even Thoughtfest, you're helping a bunch of artists get a platform.
Bunch of ungrateful ass rappers.
Especially out here in the IE. There's not really much shit out here in the IE like that anymore.
Dude,
there ain't shit out here.
Especially like since the Vibe closed down. I haven't really heard about like rap shows.
Yeah,
the Vibe was like the main spot or what?
That was like a hub. So we had.
For real?
There's been hubs like throughout hip hop history. There's parts where there's places where culture is happening, and like you've seen it like with The Good Life or Project Blowed in LA, and that birth Freestyle Fellowship and the Living Legends and Exhibit and like all the people that came from that, you know what I mean? There's people that were able to create careers out of those places because that's where culture was brewing. And I was lucky enough to be part of the Common Ground, which was a hub that we had in the IE, and that's where you've seen a lot of the cats that are doing their thing now. That's where we all learned how to perform. That's where we learned to battle. That's where we cut our teeth at. And yeah, it was just like if you were able to be a part of it, you got to like there's people that came out of there, you know, like the Hit Boys, and the Audio Pushes, and Trid, like the cats that are out here doing it, like most likely came from there. You know what I mean?
And do you feel like, especially with this, I mean, you're owner of this bar as well.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you have your hands on so many fucking things. It's amazing. But like, are you trying to do certain things for this bar to like do shows and like be like the hub, I guess?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. I personally am not creating that weekly event just because I have so much shit going on. But like the festival's that. But I've opened the place up to people like Noah, who's doing a monthly event here.
Shout out to Noah James.
Other people that are doing monthlies here and just creating. I'm just giving the space and allowing people to come create their own shit here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're housing it. You know what I mean? But there's definitely something brewing here because I just kind of took over the past couple months. And it's in those couple of months, people are like,
booming.
It's already starting. And people are like, oh yeah, that's the place to go if you want to get on the show type shit.
Dude, that's sick. We gotta tell Dan Ganja to come out here.
Yeah.
He's been here.
Yeah, he's been here.
I don't know if he's performed, but
Oh,
he's
shit.
definitely been here with like Nervous and them.
That's sick. Cause he's about to throw his own event August 20th.
Yep.
And fucking that'll be
We're gonna be there. You know?
yeah, we're gonna be there doing like interviews as well.
Dope.
But I think it would be sick if we seen everybody right here too.
Yeah.
So what's the process like? Do they have to hit you up, rent it out, certain like obviously?
I mean, just hit
certain
me
fees?
up. Like, I make it easy, bro, because I'm part of the scene and like I know how it is trying to work with venues out here. So I'm just like, dog,
There you go. See, I'm
yo,
telling
just
you,
have
thoughtful.
throw a fucking show here, keep the door money, and like
Yeah.
we'll make money at the bar if there's fucking people here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's like just keep it moving.
So what do you have your hands on? You got Thoughtfest, you got this, the bar. What? My bad. What's the name of the bar again?
Firewater.
Firewater. And
So
what
I'm
else?
like the talent buyer at Firewater, founder of Thoughtfest. I am 60 East. I have a limo. I have a party bus.
No way.
Yeah,
bro.
so like that's some random shit, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of started like a party bus business.
Okay.
I have like 2 trucks. Yeah, a bunch of other random hustles, man. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, I feel like in California you can't have one job, dog. You
Bro,
gotta have multiple
true.
jobs, and then especially like as many of my jobs that I have are creative jobs. It's like, oh, you need a fucking real job to help support the creative jobs. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I'm just hustling, bro. I'm just trying to get it.
That's dope, bro. Like I'm telling you, meeting people like you are always like inspiring because that's what I guess I want to be. I want to be able to do so many different things and like not manage, but just like be out there helping other people get like a platform.
Yeah.
I think that's why I enjoy the podcast because I know people that don't know who you are, they're gonna listen to this and they'll be like, "Oh, dude, like what the fuck? This guy is dope. Like
Yeah.
he did all this, he did that. Like, because some people don't know, obviously, what you go through.
Yeah,
and I
for
feel like
sure.
everybody has a story. It doesn't matter who you are. Maybe you're fucking in the house all day, but like you had a story of being in the house all day. Like, why were you in the house all day?
Something happens in the house.
Exactly. Like, why were you in the house all day? Your parents? Okay, what was that like? Like, everybody has a fucking story, and I feel like everybody wants to also leave something. Like, especially me, I don't want to die and like not leave a mark.
I feel you.
You know, like I just feel like I don't know, like I meet people that not in the sense giving up, but they just don't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
So when I see that, that kind of motivates me because I'm like, bro, I want to touch everything. I want to travel. That's why it's so unique hearing you traveling because I'm like, bro, I want to travel to Europe. I want to go to Japan. You know, like,
Hell yeah.
like I just went to Seattle not that long ago for my birthday. Seattle was dope. I was
Seattle's dope.
so that's my next question now. What are places? What are other places in U.S. have you been to? Like,
Oh, I've been around the country a couple times,
yeah,
man. But there's,
everywhere.
like, pretty much. I mean, the country's so big, but I've been basically to all the major cities. As far as cities I like, it's crazy because there's cities that like I like because the show was dope, and then there's cities I like because the city's dope. You know what I mean? Seattle's one of those. Like, I did perform in Seattle. Seattle's pretty dope too, but like
It's really peaceful.
I just like the
it's,
city.
Everybody's chill.
When I first went out there, I was like hella single, so it's like we noticed that there was a lot more girls than guys. And then we like asked around and like looked it up, and they were like, "Yo, it's like a 7-to-1 ratio from girls to guys in Seattle."
I didn't know that.
And I was like, "Yo, I'm about to move out this." But this is a long time ago. But yeah, I remember just walking around and seeing flocks of girls and being like, "Yo, this is crazy, man." But Seattle's dope. Atlanta's dope. Austin's
What was
dope.
Atlanta like?
New York's dope. Atlanta, food, bomb ass food. You know what I mean? The South got food in general, but like the culture out there is just so different. You know what I mean? Atlanta's just another one of those hubs, like, but it's just so different from the West Coast. You know what I mean? And then they just have their own flavor, their own style, and their own steez and all that shit. And they have like the A3C festival, which I performed at, and then like got to experience all that out there. History, hella history, the whole civil rights movement, getting to see like Martin Luther King Jr.'s house and all that, like being around all that shit. It was just super, super dope, super like, you know, like I said, just American history and all that. I've learned more from getting to tour around the country than I did in any history class. You know what I mean? Like, ran any city I'm in, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, fucking Hitler used to fucking eat here." Fucking, this is where the first fucking slave boat fucking landed, or whatever it may be, just like random shit. And I'm just like, oh, getting to take that energy in and see the statues and read the books and read the fucking everything. It's like super dope. But yeah, Atlanta, New Orleans is dope. Chicago's dope. And then you have like all the fucking smaller cities, but they're like, some of the smaller cities get popping, you know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of things happening. So once something does happen there, like everybody's there. Minneapolis is dope. Yeah, I've had good memories in so many different places. But as far as cities that like I'd fucking move to or something, you know, that's like the Atlanta, New York, Seattle, Chicago, San Francisco.
Okay, yeah, because I've been to New York, and definitely I feel like New York is like the cousin of California, because like it has its own. It's exactly, they have the coast, they have all that stuff, they have like its own cultures and different ethnicities, and I just feel like it's just I don't know how to explain it. I mean, obviously New York probably looks at us a certain way, but I was gonna say like not like the evil cousin, but like it's just like the twin.
It's like the bigger cousin.
Yeah, like exactly.
The faster cousin. The
faster cousin.
The bigger, faster cousin.
Yeah, because
more like the chill fucking.
Yeah, we're the laid back stoner cousin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They say what do they say? They say San Francisco is like New York and LA if it had a baby. That's what they say about San Francisco.
Okay,
and
I can see that.
That shit makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah.
San Diego's pretty popping too.
All up, man. If I want to, my goal is to get rich and move San Diego.
San Diego's dope, dude.
I want to retire in San Diego, bro.
I love San Diego, dude.
Sick. San Diego's dope. I've never been able to do all the outdoor shit, but I like San Diego has that shit, like fucking rock climbing and random shit like that.
Yeah.
Scuba diving and shit.
Yeah.
That's sick, bro. Do you need pass through?
Oh shit, my bad.
It's okay.
I got you.
You break your mind.
Yeah.
Would you drop the cup or your beer?
No, just a cup had ice.
Okay. But yeah, dude, fucking, that's crazy, dude. That's dope that you've done a lot of that, and I feel like that definitely helped you like mature in a sense.
Yeah,
because just traveling and being on your own and like learning different cultures, I feel like it makes you evolve as a person, because a lot of people are small-minded. We don't think how other people think.
Yeah.
Like you said, you were in Atlanta. They have like a South vibe, you know. Yeah, Chicago has its own vibe. Everybody has its own fucking vibe. So when someone's looking at someone judging them, it's like, yo, their culture is fucking different. Like, what don't you understand about that?
Getting to do that with like other people's one thing, but then getting to do it by yourself is like, that shit is crazy, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so I was gonna tell you, did you ever vlog? I mean, you were doing so much traveling.
I suck at that shit, dude. Like,
you never thought about it?
Once I got to a point where like I could take a photographer with me, like I did, but we weren't able to do it every tour. You know what I mean? Luckily, when I went to Europe, I think every tour that I did in Europe, I was able to take a photographer with me. But yeah, other than that, it was just like if I would be with the homie, we'd just take turns, be like, all right, yo, I'll shoot your performance, you shoot my performance, or whatever. You know what I mean?
It's so crazy because like I wish I would have known you. I would have just been like right there, just recording.
Let's
everything.
roll, yeah, dude.
That's what I was
crazy.
doing for them. Like I literally recorded everything they did and just like recapped their shows because I was like, dude, you guys are fucking dope. Like what? Like you need to like get the backstage. You need
Content,
to get like
everything.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's what you just need. So if anybody wants to be a videographer for 60,
yeah, it's open.
fucking hit him up.
I need a fucking.
This guy does a lot.
I need someone to follow me at the festival.
Yeah. I think I might know someone. I'll hit him up, but
Word.
yeah. So you're gonna definitely need more. Like,
Casas?
I mean, we
Yeah, I
need
was
it.
thinking about-
It takes a village to throw the show, man. So it's just like we try to take any help that we can get, and then especially with camera people, you know what I mean. It's just like every fucking corner, everywhere you look, there's something happening that should be captured. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this rapper's meeting this rapper for the first time backstage. Like, you need to get that fucking picture. You know what I mean? Or like, this person's meeting this person or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's dope.
So do they just need to DM you for like
Yeah,
photography
DM me or Thoughtfest for anything 60 or Thought related.
Okay, all right, that way because I know he's on house arrest now. Thinking about it, but maybe he can get a pass to fucking come out here.
Word. Yeah, they'll let you stay out till like 7:30.
Yeah, something. Well, he lives up north.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think if they'll let him fucking get out.
Word.
My homie Nova, shout out to Nova Vision. But yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy. I don't know. I keep thinking about all the stuff that you've done. And I'm just mind blown. Like I'm just keeping
Thanks,
like,
man.
cause like you're really dope. You're really like I don't know what else to like talk about besides the fact that.
Whatever, bro.
No, well, I'm just thinking like fucking all the shit that you did. That's like I keep thinking about it like a movie. But besides that, what keeps you going for music? Because I know that's like deep down what you always loved. Like you got your hands on everything else, but what keeps you doing music? Like what keeps you motivated to do music?
The response, man. Like, I mean, I would do music regardless if anybody was fucking listening, but like seeing people fuck with it, share it, yo, this changed my life type shit. Yo, you're dope. Like all that shit, you know what I mean? Like I don't really get caught up in all the numbers or the followers or all that shit. You know what I mean? At one point, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, that's validating or whatever. But now it's just kind of like that personal thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yo, I really fucked with your music, or people buying my merchandise or whatever. Like people coming out to the shows, both rocking with me during the show, buying my shit after the show, taking picture after the show, and just like seeing that relationship is strictly because they fuck with the art that I make. You know what I mean? And that's like, to me, that's the shit. You know what I mean? Like, I remember chasing girls, trying to do everything I could to try to impress somebody, and then it's like, okay, now I can just rap and be like, not necessarily about a girl or a girl or a guy or whatever, you know what I mean? But just being able to get that love off of something that I love to do feels good.
Exactly, dude. Yeah, because I gave up. I mean, not to talk about like my shit again, but like music for me, like I kind of shut it off after like I got like I didn't get like discouraged, but I just kind of like got unmotivated. So I always find it interesting when I hear people continuing to do it because music is such a bitch.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's a love-hate relationship.
for sure.
You're gonna see like the positives, but then there's gonna be nights where like, why the fuck am I writing this? You
Man,
know?
I always say, like, it has been my experience that like music will always give you just enough to keep going. Like there'll be days where it's like, all right, I'm done, I'm retiring, I'm quitting, I'm deleting all my shit, and then you'll get that one email like, yo, we want to book you on this fucking dope show or something, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna keep doing this shit. And then yeah, I always say that it's like they'll give you you hit some high highs and you'll hit the lowest of lows with this music shit.
Yeah, that's the type of shit where I look in the mirror, like, tell myself, like, am I gonna keep doing this? And that's why I picked up the podcast, because I was like, yo, like, switch it up.
Yeah,
Let's do something different. Get my hands on something, and like keep staying productive in a sense. Because, like I said, I want to leave my mark. I want to make history.
Them creative juices, bro. You gotta let them out, man.
Well, I've been doing it with him. I mean, he makes fucking some dope ass music, and he sings really good. He plays the guitar, all that. Maybe you gotta have him on an open mic right here. Do you do open mics right here?
We don't have like a designated open mic night, but it's something we're working on. That'd be dope.
Nah, well, true.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, because he's, I mean, you're still rocking the band, pretty much, yeah. The band's is still in work, but I'll be sick too to just like throw a show right here with a river rat.
Yeah,
It's
once the band
open,
gets
bro.
going, dude. Yeah, the band
Dope.
we get a lot of people, and there's not a lot. We're always looking for spots out here in Riverside. We used to do like the Vibe, like I said.
Or
And the last show we did was at the Mission Tobacco Lounge. And
MTL.
that's
yeah.
21 and over, and we sold that out. But
Tight.
yeah, we can probably like. What do you guys do here? 18 and over or what?
21.
21 and over
Yeah.
also.
We have like, I think it's Rockabilly night this Friday.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's
hell
gonna
yeah,
We
be
you
have a
gotta go down to
Rockabilly
that.
night on Friday, and then we have like a hip hop. It's an all girl hip hop night on Saturday.
Oh fuck
Um,
yeah.
But yeah, if you guys want down to do a show, bro, anytime.
Yeah. Well, once we get going, like one more week, and we should be good.
Word.
Yeah.
We're training some new people and shit.
Word. Go.
Yeah, are you still doing that one show? I can't remember.
No, that one that's on the 20th.
Yeah, you-
No, we're just gonna do the one. Year.
Okay, all right. Yeah, for the Rockabilly too. What's that like? Or do you have to attend every event that's right here?
Me?
Yeah. Do you
Fuck,
have?
fuck no.
Oh, okay. I thought you had to be here, bro, for everything.
I try to like. I'll at least be here for like setup, just 'cause, especially if it's a new promoter, and I'll be like trying to break them down the rules and introduce them to everybody. But sometimes, like this weekend, I'm fucking gonna be in Miami, so I can't be here for
Bro, you're in-
either of the shows. Just random shit.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
Mr. Worldwide.
yeah, shit. I was in Boise, Idaho last week.
Yeah.
I had a festival.
Do you know
out
what? I
there.
seen that. It was like rhymes and what?
Rhyme Wave Festival.
Okay.
Yeah, with the Greaves and Dizzy Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's dope. It was my first time in Boise. I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was gonna be hella white people, but like it ended up being like super diverse. At the show, I was just like surprised by how many Hispanics were in the crowd, and then some cat even came up and bought a T-shirt, and I was like, "Yo, I'm kind of mind blown right now." I was like, "How are there so many Mexicans out here?" And he's like, "Bro, we're all coming from California."
Oh shit, for
And
real?
then it's been an ongoing trend because like a few months ago, I did a Southwest tour, and we did like a Arizona, Texas, Salt Lake City, Vegas, and Texas. I said Texas and El Paso. And like every city we went to, they were like, "Yo, tell your people to stop moving here. California's moving here like crazy." Every city. So it's just been, I've noticed it. You know what I mean? And then when I went to Boise, the dude was just like, "Yo, he's like, I'm from Compton." He's like, "My family just got bought out, came out here, bought a
Damn.
big ass fucking property." And then I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." He's like, "Bro, give it 5 years." He's like, "We're gonna be the dominant people out here." And I was like, "Oh shit, this is crazy."
That is, oh my god, that is
But
crazy.
they're really calling it the California. I forgot what word they're using it, but just like everybody's leaving California because
Is
it's
that-
too expensive and buying big ass properties in Texas and Arizona and shit.
Is that what they're saying? They're like, they're taking our jobs. They're
Oh
taking
yeah,
our
they're hating
jobs.
it, and I mean part of it is Californians, but when you want to get down to the social issues, they're saying fucking Mexicans or Latinos
Yeah.
are moving to all these white populated cities or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Hey,
it brings its whole. That's a whole nother conversation.
Dude, but at the end of the day, bro, like I feel like it's embedded for like Hispanic. Maybe it's just Latinos in general. But when I went to Mexico, bro, I seen everybody just hustling,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's just in the DNA.
Facts.
Like when I seen that, and they were just doing some street performance art, like little kids, bro, just for like
doing
fucking
card
adult
shows and shit at the
Bro.
red lights. Yeah. I see
Oh my god! When I see that, I'm like, man, it hits me. It hits me like, cause I know
Take shit for granted.
exactly, bro. They're over there just trying to make a couple bucks, American
Yeah.
dollars. You know, they know we're out there. They know the platform. They're doing it.
Yo.
They don't give a fuck if they fall down. They get back up and fucking do it. And it just reminds me of my pops. You know, my pops came out here for the American Dream. He came out here when he was 18.
Dope.
And he loved breakdancing too. That's why I thought it was dope that you used to pop lock, and you know, especially when you said you spin on the head, bro. That shit fucking must have like, I don't know. I always think when I spin on their head, like
Break
I'm
your neck.
yeah, bro. Have you ever got like close to that, like where like you
Nah.
felt something the next day, you're like, dude, I fucking did it too much.
I don't think. I would say I would do it raw like on the grass, but I would usually throw on a beanie or a bike helmet. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I would throw a fucking. The helmet was dope because you could spin for days on that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. Yeah, so when my pops came out here, bro, he definitely wanted to like DJ and have his own nightclub.
Dope.
And I think it's crazy because when I was making rap, he bought some equipment for me too, but it was all DJ stuff.
Oh, or
So I was just kind of like, I don't know how to. My homie would use it and like loop tracks,
Dope.
So then we started rapping over it. So they kind of like how your mom said, they made a little studio for us, so we wouldn't be out in the streets. Cause I was never, dude. I remember I stole a beach cruiser from like across the street. It was a girl beach cruiser. I had my uncle painted black. After that, bro, I was fucking everywhere. I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna be down the street. Fuck that, I'm going to the other side of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be always gone. I think my mom probably will see me like riding that bike as she's like going to get like groceries or something. So
where did this motherfucker get that bike from? I ain't buy him that shit.
Bro, I just remember she just tripped out. I was just never home. And then they made the studio, and that became Solo Grinding. Like that was our group, Solo Grinding, and it just became 10 people, always together. And I don't know why. Something told me to move down south. Like something told me like more music is out there.
Yeah.
Opportunities, take chances. You know, and I feel like that's how you live too. You always take a chance.
Yeah, I try, man. I like to think I do.
I mean, you're taking a chance on this.
Yeah, you know.
Dude, for real, bro. I feel like you're doing a lot for the like community, and I just like how you said, I've only been out here since 2016, so I can't speak highly about the IE, but I do notice that there's so much out here, and you guys want to be heard.
Yeah.
Like you guys do a lot, but like it's just like, what do you think is like the biggest missing factor in the IE?
It's tough, man. Like that's another long conversation, but like to break some of it down, as far as like why people out here don't really get embraced like that, I feel like comes down to some street shit sometimes, because like on a street level, IE cats and LA cats don't necessarily get along. There's kind of some weird,
I've heard that.
There's some
yeah.
weird beef there, which you could break that down plenty of which ways, but like with that comes that LA people not really embracing IE artists, and with that being such a populated place, and it's just like, oh man, like it's hard to get popping in California if you can't win LA over.
Yep.
And it's like, if you're already being looked at from a negative perspective, just saying where you're from, it's like it kind of sucks. Not only that, on a mainstream level, like Latinos and hip hop, that's a whole nother conversation. You know what I mean? Like there's even the ones that are at that biggest levels, like the Snow the Products and the Fat Joes, they'll even tell
Shout out
you
to Snow, yeah.
Burner, you know what I mean? People that have been making millions of dollars independently, they'll tell you that it's hard in the global scene of things, just because how Latinos ain't really popping like that. You know what I mean? I don't want to say popping, but like,
No, I get you. Yeah.
in it's the same reason there's not a lot of Latinos in lead roles in movies. You know what I mean? It's still kind of a gray area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No,
that's
I
true.
would definitely say those are two big factors.
Yeah, because I noticed, I've heard Snow say it before, because I actually used to not work, but buy beats from the DJ Pumbaa.
Oh shit, dope.
Yeah, do you know him? Have you ever met him?
Not personally. I know
Yeah.
who you're talking about though.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Pumbaa. But he used to, we bought a lot of beats. He mixed and mastered our stuff.
Tight.
He's actually from my hometown, Watsonville. So
Word.
yeah, that's
Oh
why.
yeah, she's from San Jose, right?
Yeah, you know what? I always tripped on that, because I think she was from San Diego and
San Jose.
Yeah, like she moved
and she
or
came from
something?
Texas or some shit.
oh yeah, something like that. I just remember because I know she was living in San Jose and then she moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that is a big factor. And what do you think that is? Because I feel like as Latinos, can't you? I know you won't be known in like U.S., but like what about globally? Because Latin is the most spoken word, right?
Yeah, and that's where you've been able to see some people have success, like the Sick Jackins and the Psycho Realms, and in that lane. And it's just weird. It's I can't even call it, bro. Like I feel like everybody's fan base and the people they attract are different, and it all comes down to the music. And at me, like I feel like I'm in a special box where maybe these people don't fuck with me and these people do fuck with me for certain reasons, whereas somebody else, those reasons may be different. But I'm just saying, like on a global scale, being Latino is one of them, but being from the IE is another. I think maybe another thing about being from the IE is like people on the global scale don't know where the fuck the IE is. You know what I mean?
I thought this was all L.A.
Yeah, and then basically it's weird. This specific area is weird because we're right next door to Pomona, which is L.A. County, and they call this the county line because we live on the county lines of San Bernardino and L.A. And I'm from the 909, which is Pomona, which is Ontario, which is L.A. and IE, so it's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, because Pomona's that like weird IE and LA.
It's weird because it has a 909 area code, but it's L.A. County, and it's so it's a weird area specifically. And then the crazier thing about this is, I have people that don't fuck with me from the IE because they think Ontario is LA type shit. And it's like, oh man, I'm really in the middle of both these fucking idiots fucking arguing. Like,
so they're trying to say like, you ain't IE, bro. You're fucking on Ontario.
They're like, LA. Yo, you're like, oh, you live on that side of the 15 freeway. You're from LA. I was like, oh, well, good, because that side of the 15 freeway sucks anyway. It's all desert. I'm just talking shit.
Yeah.
When I lived in Riverside, that was the joke I would make. I'd be like, yo, I'm from Ontario. We have sidewalks, dog. Riverside, y'all got some dirt sidewalks. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, but I mean, it's weird, bro. Like, I really try not to get into all that shit. Not even just like on publicly, but like, as far as the music, I try not to let that shit stop me. Like, I'm gonna do my shit regardless.
But
you like it or not.
I just thought it was weird because I've heard that, like, I've heard it before. You know, oh, IE, what the fuck? Like, they don't fuck with this and that. But I just never understood it because as an artist, I always seen, like, why don't we work together to just grow? Yeah. Like, let's all make it. Just kind of like how your, like, thought process. You always, you're not letting that stigma hold you to where it's like, oh, they don't fuck with me, so fuck them. I'm just going to focus on IE. You're just like, fuck it. It's all love. Whoever wants to show me love, fuck it. Let's do it.
And that's been one of the main reasons why I made the decision to not perform locally. Like, I know people that only perform in the IE or only perform in Southern California. My thing was always like, I don't want to be a local rapper. I'm not performing locally. If you want to see me, it's going to be out of state, out of the country, on tour. Or if I'm going to perform locally, it's going to be at a dope-ass festival like my own. And that's why, like, I don't perform at any shows throughout the year locally. Only time I perform in the IE is if it's one of my events.
So, going to, like, music, have you ever, like, what's like one of the hardest things? Because you said, like, Latino, you're Mexican, right? So have you, like, faced a lot of struggles just because you're Latin, like Mexican? Like, certain people won't take you in because, I guess, the way you look.
On all sides. But it's also some of it back to everybody's different. You know, everybody's look or sound is gonna do what it does for you. For me specifically, I don't get so embraced by I want to say the Mexican community because I don't want to. We'll say the Cholo community, like the cats that fuck with Little Rob don't fuck with 60 East. You know what I mean? But there's sure that kind of hurts because that's my people. Mm-hmm. But being that I make the music I make, for some reason, this crowd of white people listen to my music that don't listen to any of the artists that the people that listen to Little Rob listen to. You know what I mean? So I was able to build my own fan base based off of the sound of the music or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some people have even said it's because I'm light skinned. They're like, yo, you light skinned, you kind of look white, and they're like, maybe that's why this crowd of people fucks with you and your music. And I was like, I can't do shit about it, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like same reason as I try to not use any of the negatives. It's the positive. It's whatever, dog. Yeah. I'm just doing what I do. You fuck with it, you fuck with it. But yeah, like especially over the past couple of years, how economics and social everything has just come into play. Racism, everything is just factored into everything. You can't help but not kind of break it down that way too. And I've definitely done that with different people. You know what I mean? Like some of my black friends, some of my white friends, some of my Asian friends. And it's like we all have different experiences. Like shit is nuts. You know what I mean? But to say that all that doesn't play a factor into somebody having success or not, it's part of it. You know, it's America, bro. Like
no, for real. That's why I know, because I mean, I'm Mexican, dude. I'm Mexican with curly hair. People always like, what the fuck are you? Like, I feel like I get stared at because everybody doesn't know what the fuck I am.
You definitely look Cuban or something.
Yeah, the Cuban, Islander,
Puerto Rican or something, bro.
dude. I get everything but Mexican. Dude, I was in line at Sam's Club, I think, and fucking these two white folks, they're older, and I'm just like standing, and he's like rattling his fucking cart. He's like, hey, and I was like, what the fuck? I looked down, and he's like, are you Hawaiian? And I was like, nah, I'm Mexican, bro. He's like, you look Hawaiian. And then the wife is like, I thought you were Hawaiian. And it was just
Samoan and shit.
Yeah, I'm about to say, if you had a tribal tattoo or sleeve or some shit, I'm like, hey, he's Polynesian.
Yeah. But see, it was just weird because I was just like looking at it. I was like, I wonder how I get looked at. But I've never thought about it like that. I just kind of go in, and then I always see people white people or something, anybody actually. I always get asked what the fuck I am. So for the records, I'm Mexican. But yeah, dude, fucking, I kind of want to try these tacos.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, fucking, dude, it was dope fucking doing this.
Talk to you, man.
And I feel like we can definitely, I don't know if you're down, if you want to run it back again. Let's do it again.
Yeah, let me know whenever, man.
Yeah, because I feel like, dude, we can talk for hours.
We can.
I don't know, I'm still I want to fucking get that book, bro. That shit's gonna be hard.
Yeah, bro.
It was nice meeting you, though, man.
All right, man.
All right, Annoying Neighbors, we out.
Peace.
Good shit, man. Hell yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, bitch.
What you know about me, bro? Going hard in the game, gonna make a name. Leaving my mark, I'ma leave my stain. Better back up, cause I bring the pain. What you know about me, bro? Got Supreme hat, Supreme clothes, best breezy. Fuck yeah, so fresh, we're high class, bro. What you know about me, bro?